Hello and welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this Thursday afternoon. I hope you all had a great start or a great week so far and a great end of the week ahead. As always, before we jump into the markets and into my portfolio, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And the one thing I recommend doing every episode is that if you haven't done so, go and check out the Elliott Wave principle, the strategy that I'm personally following, that you can read online for free when you're using the link in the description down below. With all of that out of the way, let's now jump into my portfolio, and we'll see we have a slightly break-even start into the day as usual, or as very often actually. Our positions didn't change, so I'm not going to bother to go through all of them. We might mention them while we're looking on the chart. The most important position is obviously GameStop, with our biggest exposure holding 600 shares and having 6 $30 strike price covered calls sold against those shares that expire on January 17th. Now, based on the previous movements that we saw yesterday, I already mentioned, okay, that from the development here with this spike, it's possible that what we're looking at here is basically a so-called leading diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5. The movement down here hits the target areas that we expect. We only fall, what was it, 10 cents short of the 50% retracement that I originally a couple of days back already mentioned as my target area for wave A. And now we potentially have an ABC move. That yesterday also our minimum target for that move upwards was the 30.11 mark, and yesterday we hit 30.16, so we barely hit our minimum target, which possibly means this could either be wave B done and from here we get our next 5 waves down, or this is only 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still get a wave 5 push again in the target area from 13.11 to 32.36 to finish this wave B before we then get our wave C move further down. Yeah, so considering all of this, just a second, that would be that we hit the minimum target on the way down, and this here would be for our upwards move. So it's getting a little bit crowded with extensions and expansions and retracements on the chart, but basically, yeah, so there is short-term upwards potential unless my pattern is completely wrong and I mislabeled somewhere, which we would know if we break the $34 mark. Not sure if we have it on the chart. No, because it's the very unlikely scenario for the pattern that I'm labeling. So yeah, if we go too high, then I would know that I'm wrong, but for my positions, that would still be fine. Just would mean my shares get called away. However, considering that I got $2,800 in premium for selling those covered calls, we basically, let's double check, we received $481 per covered call, which means technically we only start to make to miss out on profit if we go above $34.80 per share. And either way, so I expect still downward movement. The question is just if we already have seen the end of our wave B here, or if we'll first get another push further up and then we'll get our 5 waves further down to finish this bigger, what I believe to be A, B, and wave C. Again, wave B could theoretically be done here, although I actually think it's more likely that we still miss a move here. But, you know, don't bet your house just because I say I think it's more likely. Do your own research, make your own decisions, and then we should get another 5 waves down, ideally to the 61.8 retracement. If we use Kennedy channeling technique, it becomes a little bit trickier because there we theoretically would have a breakout from the so-called base deceleration trend line or channel. However, considering that we went lower here, that would mean, or that would need to be 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, which I don't think is the case, or because of the wave relationships that we would have here. So I said I believe this is only wave A of the corrective pattern, and that once wave B might have finished here, or wave B is still in the progress and might finish anywhere in this area, and then from there we still should get a wave C. But as mentioned, I could be wrong. Time will tell. I'm confident in my positions. Ideally, it plays out the way I see it on the chart, which would be allow me to make more profit as we go. But even if I'm wrong and we go higher here, yeah, like doesn't really hurt my portfolio very much. Yeah, moving on to Barnes & Noble Education Inc. There we don't have huge exposure, as you can see, while we were quite right to enter here, here, and here. We are at $100 profit right now. Labeling this, as I mentioned yesterday, is not so easy right now, so it will take some time to have a definitive opinion on this pattern here, or what's developing here. Theoretically, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not happy, however, with the wave relationships and other aspects of the whole thing. Overall, I believe there's way more upside to come, so we're just going to hold our... How much do we have? 100 shares in BNet? No, not even. No, 49 shares. Yeah, so not that big. Maybe the next time we write covered calls against GameStop, we'll increase that position to 100 shares. So we can also consider selling covered calls against those shares. Either way, we're going to hold on because there's more upside in my opinion. Moving on, grab long term. So there we only have one call option. That's 100% or maybe 200% in plus right now. So, but it's a long-term leaps option that expires in 26. And there's still the option that I'm wrong here. We look at a weekly chart, so it's slowly developing. But overall, I believe I'm right. This is wave 1. This is potentially wave 2. And here we have the next wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 play out. Then we get another correction, further upwards movement, and so on. And yeah, so there's still 2 my target areas for the wave 3 target. We still will have 100% upside over the next couple of months. But we'll just have to wait and see. Immersion unchanged, check yesterday's stream if you want to know more. Cost unchanged, check yesterday's stream if you want to know more. Neo unchanged. Oh no, we got a slight downward movement here, but still, as long as we don't break the low at 428, we stick with our assumption that we actually called the bottom quite well, and that from here we should go further up. Only if we break the 428, then only then would we have to revisit our pattern and consider our choices. But so far the pattern still holds, and what it looks like is basically 3 waves up, A, B, C down. Yeah, as an impulse, we didn't enter the territory of wave 1. We just turned around slightly before that, roughly on the top of the base channel. So this should be the beginning of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to slowly take us in that area here. And yeah, Novavax unchanged. Yeah, should be in the next couple of weeks, if I'm right, stronger upwards movement. Not that it will do my January 17th call options any good, or likely will not do it any good, but yeah, we will see. Now on the crypto side, we mentioned that Bitcoin has to break this level here to basically confirm that the flat correction that we are fairly certain happened here, finished here, which means that here we're actually looking at the next wave 1, 2 that has a 78.6 retracement almost. And then we can actually get rid of here the 165 target, which was, so the 100% target is basically the wave C. 78.6 is here for wave 2. 21.4 is basically here for this correction. Which means theoretically we're looking at the next 1, 2 and should get 3, 4, and 5. So there's more upside to come. I think my take profit, I'm going to have to double check that. My take profit for Bitcoin right now is set at continue. Bitcoin is set at, no, that's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin, where are you there? Bitcoin at 120,736. However, if we are correct here, where do you come from? You come from here. Okay, that's the same. So that stays unchanged. 130,736.91 will stay my profit target for now for a potential wave 1, wave 2, and now we should get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to take us up here. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, but so far we're just gonna have to hold. Yeah, I could be wrong, but visually that also looks like this is the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we get another correction, then we get the next 5 waves, and so on, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, bullish on Bitcoin. Our entry here proved to be good enough. And yeah, looking at XYO, we are waiting for a potential further push down to the 50% retracement. We'll have to wait and see if that is how it plays out. So this would be then some kind of A, B, and wave C downwards. based on Kennedy channeling technique. Ignoring Kennedy channeling technique caused me to miss out on around 250% return here because I sold at 0.01395 or so at the 261.8 extension level, instead of also considering Kennedy channeling technique, which would only have which would have gotten us out at at least twice that. So anyway, StoreJ, we're still waiting. There should be further upward move here to reach our minimum targets. We only reached the first minimum target here, but our take profit is actually at the second one at 80 cents per StoreJ or storage token. Let's wait and see if that plays out like this. If not, then we'll just hold further. I don't see any reason to sell after we see a 5-wave move followed by a 3-wave corrective pattern. So there should be further upside to come, and we should be able to get out here, or maybe even better. We'll have to keep an eye on it to consider if we have to adjust our take profit at some point. But if we were to do that, we would only set it higher. H&T is still moving upward, so not much to mention here. Algorand, so as mentioned, that was yesterday. No, that was already more than yesterday. But basically possible that we only have a minor correction here, so not the full correction of this move, but that this move isn't finished will actually take us still up here, and then that would be just a corrective wave as part of this whole movement. That's how it looks right now, where we retrace 21.4%, and then basically get another push and should then potentially reach the 76-cent mark, but only time will tell. And we don't care about much of the rest, to be honest. So yeah. I have a lot of things on my to-do list for the rest of the day, so unless there are any questions in the chat, which doesn't appear to be the case, we're actually going to call it a day here. For me personally, what matters is obviously how GameStop develops, although it doesn't affect the portfolio hugely. Worst case, if I'm wrong, I'll end up missing out on some profits, but for that, GameStop would have to go up at least 20%, and then I would basically start to miss out on profits. And even then, I could consider rolling my options for April expiration instead of January for a net credit, but I wouldn't do that, so I'd rather have the shares then called away, the cash freed up, and basically free up cash for some other place. But yeah, so keeping an eye on GameStop definitely doesn't hurt. Bitcoin, also relevant to keep an eye on it, but our exposure in those things, other than GameStop, our exposure is in all of our position relatively small. Anyways, here's your reminder again: like, subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss out on future live streams. And with that, I'm going to wish you a pleasant day. We see each other then tomorrow for this week's final episode of Daily Market Mastery. Thanks for stopping by, and till tomorrow. Bye-bye.